Welcome inside Nickerson Hall for your GLVC matchup here tonight. The UINDY Greyhounds take on the William Jewell Cardinals. Drew Ranke alongside Graham Shee here tonight. Genesis Brown down on the sideline. Now, Graham, UINDY comes in 5-1 on the year, had a little bit of a road trip. Now coming in undefeated at home, how do they continue that hot streak?
Well, they have been hot, and especially here at Nickerson Hall, they have been absolutely lights out. But they had one slip-up over the weekend, a 5-point loss to the Quincy Hawks, and they just didn't really play that well on offense or defense. They got out-rebounded. They just had their worst game of the year by far. But they rebounded against Truman State on Monday, a big victory. They absolutely blew out the Bulldogs, and they got back in the winner's circle. If they can do that again tonight and crash the boards, it's going to be really tough to stop them with that same intensity.
Now, on the flip side, William Jewell has had struggles on the road over the last couple of years, coming in 3-5 on the year, 0-2 on the road. How do you think they can come out with a victory here tonight, especially with the road struggles?
Now, I mean, with the road struggles, it's really tough because the Cardinals they don't really rebound the ball particularly well. They shoot the ball well. They shoot it well from three on average for the year. So if they can kind of take advantage of that, if they can get hot from downtown, especially early on in the game, if they can crash the boards, it's going to be really important for them to out-rebound the Greyhounds, because that's one thing UINDY does very well, and that's one thing Paul Corsaro really focuses on, is rebounding and out-rebounding their opponents. If the Cardinals can do that well, they're going to be tough to stop as well.
UINDY is a great rebounding team. I mean, they out-rebounded the Division I Western Kentucky Hilltoppers 44-40, so that will be a big factor here in tonight's matchup. We will now send it down to Genesis Brown on the sideline.
This is Genesis on UINDY TV, GLVC Sports Network. The Greyhounds had a great win this past Monday against Truman with a big win, making records in steals. Hopefully they can keep that momentum throughout this game today. I saw them out here on the courts warming up with a lot of great energy, and hopefully they can bring it home. Historically, they have been going very well against the Cardinals, so we shall see how that goes tonight. More here on UINDY TV, GLVC Sports Network.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, inside Nickerson Hall for this GLVC men's basketball matchup, as we have the William Jewell Cardinals against the University of Indianapolis Greyhounds. Drew Ranke alongside Graham Shee here tonight, and we have Genesis Brown down on the sideline. So, Graham, as we get closer to this game started, both teams are taking the court. We will get to your starting lineups. We'll first start with the William Jewell Cardinals. Number 12, a guard, Mason Alexander, 6 foot, out of McPherson, Kansas. Number 23, Grant Stubbs, the center, 6'6", out of Kansas City, Missouri. Number 24, Kobe McKinley, a guard, 6 foot. Number 25, Jordan Germain, a senior forward, 6'2". Number 34, Hiri Tishoyo, 6'6", out of the Congo. And for your Greyhounds, you have your typical starting five: Kendrick Choa, Josiah Tynes, Jesse Bingham, Bruno Williams, and Jacoby Robinson.
Yeah, Coach Corsaro inserted Bruno Williams into the starting lineup last game, and it's working for them through 2 games.
As the Greyhounds win the opening tip by Kendrick Choa, that will give the ball to Josiah Tynes to bring it up the court.
Greyhounds have to get off to a fast start. Look for them to go inside here on the first play.
Jacoby Robinson at the top of the key. Bruno Williams is that transfer from Lewis, another GLVC foe who has the ball right now. Gets down to Bingham. Stolen away there by the Cardinals. That looks to be Jordan Germain.
And Germain, a special player as well. He was all GLVC second team last year. He's their leading scorer right now, about 16 points a game through 8 games this year.
He has started all 8 games for those Cardinals. Down low is, kicks it back out top to Kobe McKinley. McKinley back down low to Hiri Tichosho. Interesting story on him as he drains that floater. He is from the Congo. He's a transfer from Tarleton State. And they have a couple of kids from out of the country. They have a little bit of some African vibes in the Congo and Ghana. It's Bruno Williams with the ball at the top of the key. Drives, pull up, floater, and good.
Yeah, Williams has been just one of those players. He actually really hasn't started off the year shooting-wise particularly well, but knocks that one down. Look for him to have a big game tonight.
Bruno averages about 7 points per game, as he normally comes off the bench, but as Graham mentioned earlier, that he is starting now, and he's picked that up last game.
And they decide to go a little bit bigger. They take their captain Ben Nickerson out of the lineup.
Stubbs with the three, no good. Put back up there by Kobe McKinley, no good. Rebounded by Choa.
And as I was mentioning, they inserted Williams into the lineup. They take Ben Nickerson, one of their captains, out of the lineup, as looks like Bingham stepped out of bounds. Greyhound turnover, but they decide to go a little bit bigger. Bruno Williams just a few inches, at least a few inches, from 6'4" down to 6 foot, 4 inches taller than Ben Nickerson. They bring Nickerson off the bench now and go a little bit smaller with an extra guard.
Nickerson is one of those lethal shooters from beyond the three. I mean, he is one of those people that can get that three-point shooting going.
Yeah. Good start on the year from the outside as well, 50%.
As there is a turnover by the Cardinals, Josiah Tynes bringing it up for the Greyhounds on the far side.
UINDY's played awesome defense to start the year through 6 games. They're only allowing 58 points on average through those 6 games. It's been impressive.
Bad pass there by Bingham to Williams, and it was turnover forced by the Cardinals. As you have Mason Alexander bringing the ball up. Quick shot there by Grant Stubbs. Off the back iron, no good. Rebounded by Williams. You got Choa down low. Gets it up and is good.
Already a good start for Choa. If they keep Chioyo on him down there, Choa can take advantage.
There is a charge there committed by the Cardinals. That will be Mason Alexander with his first.
Josiah Tynes, you see him there. He puts his body on the line, and that's why he's one of the captains this year as well. He puts his body on the line, and he is willing to make that extra play, especially on defense. He's one of those, get it and grind it players, and he's been awesome this year to start the year. But also, he's giving them some points on offense as well. Tremendous shooting from the outside. Tynes, one of those players.
As for the mentioned, Ben Nickerson checks into the game as Bingham pulls up from just inside the free throw line and is good.
Bingham, a great start as well. Of course, Staros talked about it. Stepping into the shoes of Corey Miller, one of the leaders out there on the year. And he's leading them in scoring 15 points a game, special player through 6 games.
Stubbs drives on Robinson. Robinson plays great defense for the Greyhounds as he is one of those defensive leaders. Stubbs chucks up a three off the front iron, no good. Rebounded by David Eja.
It's this second unit for Indianapolis that has really gave them the 5-1 start. They had 42 of 72 bench points against Grand Valley earlier this year. That got them the win there. David Eja, one of those guys coming off the bench. Big season so far.
Eja faked the three, gets it out to a lethal three-point shooter himself and Ben Nickerson. Bingham drives the lane, and that will be a turnover for the Greyhounds. We mentioned it earlier here that rebounding is going to be pretty crucial as the Greyhounds do have 38 rebounds per game. That's something that William Jewell really needs to take into account on the boards.
Yeah, and William Jewell also, they do really well on the glass. That's one thing that I think head coach Chris McCabe, has to focus on tonight. They give about 38 rebounds per game, which is dead even with Indianapolis on average. But if they can win that matchup tonight on the glass, it's going to be impressive.
Foul committed down low.
Great start to the year by Jordan Germain. 16 points per game, leads them in scoring, and he started all 8 games this year, as you mentioned, Drew. He's been impressive as well for the Cardinals.
Ball will stay with the Cardinals as they cannot convert there. Rebounded by David Eja. Nixon brings the ball up court. As he's heard so many times, this stadium is named after his grandfather there. As Eja drives the lane with that floater of a left hand, puts it in for 2. The Greyhounds are starting to take off here early in the first half.
Yeah, UINDY, they always start off hot, it seems like. I mean, against Truman State, it was like an 8-0 run out of the gates. Against Quincy, it was a 6-0 run. They always start off the game hot, but they allow some breathing room for the Cardinals. See if William Jewell can answer.
Great defense here by the Greyhounds as Jermaine chucks up a 3 and nails it out with the shot clock winding down.
Yeah, Jermaine, 43% from behind the arc. That one just a pretty shot, and the Greyhounds couldn't keep up with him there on defense.
He's probably the one person that you don't want to leave open beyond the arc there.
Absolutely not.
As Ija puts up a 3 of his own and is good.
Another player you don't want to leave open. Ija hasn't particularly shot the 3 ball well, but he is tolerable from out there. 25% on the year. Now he goes above that. He's shot the 3 ball well as well.
Stubbs with the running floater puts it in with his right hand. Back to Ija here. You said he was shooting 25% from 3. He's already matched his season average of 5 points per game.
Quick start for Ija. Bunch of transfers for Indianapolis this year. Ija, one of them, coming over. He comes from Purdue Fort Wayne, and great start.
Bingham with the floater of the right hand off the front rim, rebounded by Hiri Tiyosho.
Ija comes from St. Francis, another one of those Fort Wayne schools. It's Jarvis Walker comes from Purdue Fort Wayne, but just a ton of transfers, and they've helped the Greyhounds off the bench.
Javon Ferguson checks into the game for the Cardinals as he puts up that one. Little turnaround shot, no good. You mentioned all the transfers that Coach Casaro has brought in this year. Jarvis Walker has been a pretty good spark off the bench. I mean, in his first couple games, he was nailing 3s left and right. Not as much as Sean Craig, though. Sean Craig is that really lethal 3-point shooter as he just comes in, and it seems like every time he pulls up from beyond the arc, it goes in. As a travel is called there on Bruno Williams. And we will send it down to our sideline reporter on Genesis Brown.
Right from the tip-off, the Greyhounds were not here to play. The bench was very vocal tonight with the teammates standing when defense was getting tough. Coach Casaro says that we need to be on defense tonight. Even when the Greyhounds are getting points on the scoreboard, Coach Casaro is still pressing that they need to hustle and get back on D. UINDY and GLVC Sports Network.
We got Tennessee, Georgia.
Georgia easily, man.
Come on, Tennessee's 8.5-point dogs. Easiest spread of all time.
How?
Because they're good, and Georgia's played nobody.
At least Georgia has a defense.
Oh, come on. You're an IU fan. Your opinion doesn't matter.
My opinion doesn't matter. The only thing you know as a Purdue fan is how to lose to a 15 seed in the March Madness tournament.
We're bowl eligible, my guy. Are you? Make sure to tune in to Last Call Monday nights. We'll talk about Division I football, give you plenty of UINDY sports, some interviews in there as well, and then plenty of pro sports, whether it be NFL, MLB, the whole shebang.
Yeah, and there's at least one guy that knows what he's talking about.
Welcome back here on the campus of the University of Indianapolis as the Greyhounds lead 11-7. Graham, what have you seen so far here in the early goings that has really shocked your interest?
Well, it's already a hot start for Indianapolis, and off the bench, David Ija leads them in scoring already 5 points. A nice layup inside, a nice 3-pointer from the outside, also 2 rebounds. And Corsaro, he likes to keep his guys fresh, keep the legs fresh. He checks out Kendrick Choa, brings in Ija. Now here after the break, he brings back in Choa, and Ija takes a seat. He likes to keep his guys fresh, and the bench has done the work tonight.
Checked in for the Greyhounds now is Jarvis Walker and Sean Craig. Brings back Kendrick Choa onto the floor as William Jewell pretty much keeps everybody the same going here into the first half. Hiri Tiyosho almost turns the ball over there for the Cardinals. It looks like the ball did fall out of bounds before the shot clock went off. And it will be a shot clock violation.
Yeah, great defense again by Indianapolis. That time Ben Nickerson, also Choa on the inside, kind of got that possession started, but Nickerson chases it down, and now Indianapolis trying to strengthen their lead. It's already 4.
Kendrick Choa down low, up and good. He's really, really good down and low in the paint.
Yeah, right now, Chioyo just doesn't really have anything for him. Kendrick Choa just a monster on the inside, and when he gets down to his spot in the paint, it's really hard to defend him, especially with that right hand.
Greyhounds shooting nearly 50% from the field as the season's gone on. Played 6 games so far, as a deep 3 by Mason Alexander is good.
Yeah, Alexander, hot from the outside to start the year, 34% on the season. Knocks down that one, trying to give William Jewell some life here.
Yeah, coming back into this one, only down 3 now, as neither team has really gone cold from the field yet.
Drew, you talked about him. Sean Craig, a true freshman over from Ohio. He's out there.
Kendrick Choa down low, gets his own rebound, puts it back up. Tries to save it, no good. Turnover on the Greyhounds, grabbed fast by Mason Alexander, trying to get numbers for the Cardinals.
Choa's just got to be a little bit softer there. He kind of went a little bit too quick, rushed it, got a second opportunity, but left that one short too.
3 by Kobe McKinley. Rebounded there by Hiri Tishiosho, and he is called for travel. The under 12 media timeout. As the Greyhounds lead the Cardinals 13-10. You are watching UINDY TV on the GLVC Sports Network.
Award-winning news coverage. Brought to you by ethical journalists that care about you. We have you covered on crime, latest on sports, and the best in entertainment. This is UINDY TV News.
As the Greyhounds are up by 3, early going, they had that big lead up 8-2. Now the Cardinals have climbed back into this one, 13-10. We'll now go down to our sideline reporter, Genesis Brown.
The Greyhounds, again, are very vocal on the bench tonight when it comes to defense. Coach Casaro is still telling them that please stay on defense and get vocal. Hopefully the Greyhounds will continue to do that tonight. You're listening to watching UINDY TV, the GLVC Sports Network.
As the Greyhounds come back out on the floor, it'll be Robinson, Nickerson, Choa, Tynes, and it looks to be Jarvis Walker down there in the corner. As a turnover there is forced by Mason Alexander. Long court pass, a little bit of a spin move by Javon Ferguson, and is tapped back in. Basket counts, and you will get an and one.
Yeah, and they're trying to give Kendrick Choa some different looks on defense. They match up Ferguson on him that time, and William Jewell off of the turnover. Ferguson plays good defense. Winger gets down the floor and then draws the three-point play. William Jewell trying to bounce back here.
Ferguson has just made his first free throw attempt of the year, as Bingham puts it up with the right hand and is good.
Nice start for Bingham again. He's got an early 4. Indianapolis takes back the lead.
Stolen away by Jarvis Walker as he leads the charge for the Greyhounds, down low to Bingham, and is good.
Yeah, that's one thing UINDY has done very well this year, is get out in transition, especially off turnovers. They run the break so well. That time, Tynes, Walker, a little push off. Bingham gets it on the inside.
Another turnover there by the Cardinals as the Greyhounds try and extend their 4-point lead.
And it's Walker again. He's all over the place.
Robinson for 3, bang, and it is good. And that will force a timeout there by Coach Chris McCabe of William Jewell. And we will step aside as well, as the Greyhounds are streaking up 20-13. You are watching UINDY TV on the GLVC Sports Network.
Hey, it's Giselle here on 88.7 WICR.
88.7 The Diamond, the only jazz and classical station in Indianapolis, completely led by the students of the University of Indianapolis. Listen to us on iHeartRadio, TuneIn app, FM radio, HD radios, or even on our website at wicronline.org, a different kind of public radio.
Coming back here as we see Jarvis Walker throw it down low to Kendrick Choa with the right hand, and it is good. Take another look here at David Eja's three.
Yeah, Eja, impressive start and a 7-0 run for Indianapolis the last 55 seconds. It's been the turnovers for William Jewell. UIndy already has 5 turnovers of their own and some more sloppy play.
That is a 7th forced turnover by the Greyhounds, as it seems William Jewell can't hold on to the ball.
Yeah, they can't. Already 7 turnovers. You see him there. Alexander coughs it up that time. Indianapolis has taken advantage, but also the Greyhounds, they've coughed it up as well. Already 5 turnovers. That matches what they had last game against Truman State on Monday. They only had 5 turnovers the entire game. We're less than 10 minutes in here, Drew.
As William Jewell averages 12 turnovers on the year, they're already more than halfway there. As there is another turnover there by the Greyhounds, stolen away by Mason Alexander.
Just sloppy passes again.
Ball's going back and forth between the two teams. Seems like nobody wants to score.
I feel like it's been a rough stretch of basketball for both teams right now.
Kendrick Choa beyond the three-point line is not something you really want to see. As Bingham drives the ball, puts it up with his left hand off the glass, and good.
That's one guy you can always count on, Jesse Bingham. He's got now 8 points to lead Indianapolis, and they're back up by a bunch here. The lead is ballooned to 9.
Jordan Germain with the ball averages those 15.8 points per game. Ferguson drives, puts it up, gets the bounce, and good. As the Greyhounds' lead is cut down. Robinson drives the baseline. Foul committed there by Mason Alexander on Josiah Tynes.
Greyhounds haven't had a lot of ball movement, it seems like the last couple possessions. It's kind of been one-dimensional. Jesse Bingham took it himself the last play. That time they try and work it over. Obviously, Alexander just reaches and draws the foul. Not a smart foul, but Indianapolis now take it out.
So the Greyhounds inbound the ball. Tynes gets it to Robinson for 3 off the back iron, no good. Rebounded by Alexander.
Not a smart foul there by Indianapolis. It's going to go on Williams. He was just running back on defense. Really smart play there by Alexander to recognize Williams running past him and take the contact and on purpose draw that foul.
Williams, as we mentioned earlier, is that transfer for Lewis. Played 2 seasons there. Second team all GLVC last year for the Flyers.
Yeah, he's been really impressive and hasn't had an awesome start for the year for the Greyhounds, but rightfully so. I think he should be in the starting lineup.
Great pickup by Coach Gassaro, getting Bruno Williams here to the University of Indianapolis.
McKinley there with a lay-in for William Jewell. Nice find on the inside.
As they now cut the lead down to 5. Greyhounds kind of going cold here. As Eja checks up a 3 and nails it.
Nice shot there by David Eja, and he's got 8 of his own. So now Bingham has 8 and Eja has 8. That's really been most of the only scoring for Indianapolis here through 12 minutes.
If you get Jesse Bingham going, he will take off.
Absolutely. There's a reason he averages 15 a game, Drew.
And here Shiyoyo will get called for that offensive push-off, and that will send us to our under 8 immediate timeout as the Greyhounds still lead 25-17. You're watching UINDY TV on the GLVC Sports Network.
Hey, it's Giselle here on 88.7 WICR.
88.7 The Diamond, the only jazz and classical station in Indianapolis, completely led by the students of the University of Indianapolis. Listen to us on iHeartRadio, TuneIn app, FM radio, HD radios, or even on our website at wicronline.org. A different kind of public radio.
What are we doing?
Defense has definitely paid off as the Greyhounds have been putting pressure on Jewell and causing quite the bit of turnovers. Casaro definitely has a lot of emotions on the bench towards these players, but I'm hearing a lot of encouragement to number one, Kendrick Choa. Hopefully he can continue to get some scores on the board. You're watching UIndy's men basketball on UIndy TV and GOVC Sports.
25-17 as we come back here. Grant, we mentioned before we went to break, David Eja tied Jesse Bingham with the team lead for 8 points as we are early here in the first half.
Yeah, Eja, he has been awesome this year, to say the least, for Indianapolis. He's going to come back out on the court, and that's one thing that he did so well over at St. Francis is he almost averaged a double-double at St. Francis. And now he comes here to Indianapolis. He comes off the bench, and he's accepted the role, and he's doing a fabulous job for Coach Corsaro.
As we have a clock malfunction, it says 75-40 left here in the first half, which is incorrect.
They added an extra 0 there. It should be 7:54. William Jewell needs to get back in it. Indianapolis they have kind of taken that initial punch, and now they've gone up by 80, or they've gone on a little bit of a run. Jewell trying to answer, but right now they're kind of reeling, turning the ball over a lot.
As the Greyhounds back on offense. Gets Williams to drive with a floater, fouled in the process, count the bucket. Bruno Williams with that old-fashioned three-point play.
Yeah, awesome finish for Bruno Williams. Now he's got 4, chance to make it 5, and Williams, pretty good free throw shooter as well, 71% on the year. Indianapolis doing a nice job of penetrating the arc, trying to get some points on the inside. They haven't really settled for a lot of threes, just taken 4, and they are 3 of 4. They haven't taken what William Jewell hasn't given them on defense.
Shot there made by Bruno Williams. Williams, a 71 free throw percent shooter on the year, which is pretty good for a big man. There's a block called there on Tynes, as there was a lot of ball movement for the Cardinals as they couldn't really find an open shot, crediting the Greyhound defense to really shutting them down.
Yeah, that time, great ball movement for William Jewell. Kind of started with Jermaine there at the top, and they swung it around the arc, and then trying to get an open 3. The Greyhounds, though, they shut it down, though, and they draw the foul.
Really, if we're looking for a three-point shot for the Cardinals, Mason Alexander and Jordan Jermaine are really your only three-point threats. I mean, Alexander 34% and Jermaine 43% from beyond the arc. As we see Jermaine drive here, put up the floater, no good, and a charge will be called on him.
Yeah, Williams steps in front there, draws the contact. The Greyhounds they've done their homework here. They know Jermaine, and right now they try to force him left. Bruno Williams, though, beats him to the spot, and we're going the other way with it. Another turnover for Jewell. They're 10th already.
Jermaine picks up his second foul of the ball game. As Eja drives, puts it off the glass, no good. Rebounded by Alexander as the Cardinals are running.
Kind of smart there by William Jewell, trying to push the pace of play and speed it up there. Alexander they didn't have the numbers. They couldn't push it in the inside.
Shioyo down low, guarded by Eja, has a major height advantage, but Eja says no with that rejection.
Nice find.
Thrown down low to Kobe McKinley as he puts it up for his 4th point of the ball game.
The assist to Shioyo. He doesn't get many of those. That was a beautiful pass, though, down low, finding the cutting McKinley.
Bingham gets the ball taken away from him by McKinley. Alexander puts up a 3 and good.
And here come the Cardinals.
And now will force a timeout by Coach Paul Casaro, 28-22. Greyhounds still lead, but the Cardinals are fighting back. You are watching on the UINDY TV on the GLV Sports Network. Minutes remaining here in the ball game, as the Greyhounds are still trying to cling to this lead that they built up. Only 6-point lead here now. Up as the Cardinals start to fight back. Graham, what do you think the Greyhounds can kind of do on defense to weather this storm?
Well, one thing Indianapolis hasn't done well yet is rebounding the ball. Two rebounds for Choa, 2 for Williams, 2 for Ejod. They're big guys, but nobody else is really crashing the boards. William Jewell, that's really what's keeping them in it right now, is the rebounding battle.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier as Kendrick puts up a shot, no good.
Nice defense that time by Chiyoyo, able to kind of hold his own in the painted area. Really the first time that he's been able to do so against Choa tonight.
As Alexander throws the ball down in the corner. Jermaine drives. Looks guarded heavily by the Greyhounds. Greyhounds have some great defense as it is stolen away there by Jarvis Walker.
Tremendous help defense by Indianapolis. Kendrick Choa comes over, and then Robinson also there for the triple team.
As Williams puts up the floater, no good. Rebounded by Choa. Choa puts it up and is good.
A man amongst boys down low. Kendrick Choa, his 3rd rebound of the day. Now he's got 6 for Indianapolis, and that's one thing Indianapolis does well is offensive rebound. They really need to crash the glass a little bit more here to close down the stretch of the first half.
Rebounding is the key for the Greyhounds to win here tonight. Ball thrown in the lane. A little bit of a runner there by Chiyoyo, and it is good. Ejod kicks it out to Williams. Williams faked a 3 there. Had a good look. Tynes drives, puts it up. Gill gets a bad bounce, but rolls out, rebounded by Chiyoyo.
Tynes has been a lot more confident this year, taking it to the inside. A lot of times he just shoots 3s, but today in this season he's done a nice job taking more 2s and trying to help the Greyhounds in scoring.
Big 3 thrown up there by Alexander. Yeah, Tynes really has kind of come into his own. You mentioned it earlier, captain now, averaging 8 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists a game. Not terrible.
Absolutely not terrible at all. 41% from downtown, and he's held his own from out there as well. Hasn't shot a 3 yet tonight, but his stroke looks better from the outside.
And 82% from the line, not to mention 40% from the field. So he's doing pretty well as this season has gone on. So it's another charge called against the Cardinals. That'll be the 3rd one of the night. And we are under 4. And the Greyhounds still lead 30-24. You are watching UINDY TV on the GLVC Sports Network.
We got Tennessee, Georgia.
Georgia easily, man.
Come on, Tennessee's 8.5-point dogs. Easiest spread of all time.
How?
Because they're good, and Georgia's played nobody.
At least Georgia has a defense.
Oh, come on. You're an IU fan. Your opinion doesn't matter.
My opinion doesn't matter. The only thing you know as a Purdue fan is how to lose to a 15 seed in the March Madness tournament.
We're bowl eligible, my guy. Are you? Make sure to tune in to Last Call Monday nights. We'll talk about Division I football, give you plenty of UINDY sports, some interviews in there as well, and then plenty of pro sports, whether it be NFL, MLB, the whole shebang.
Yeah, and there's at least one guy that knows what he's talking about.
(30-24), the Greyhounds are clinging to this lead as the first half starts to wind down. Graham, we were talking about the rebounding in the pregame show and how they out-rebounded that Division I team 44-40. Really hasn't shown here tonight. I mean, they've only out-rebounded. They have been out-rebounded by the Cardinals 12-8.
Yeah, they've been aggressive on offense, trying to get some positioning, get some work on the block. Choa and Ija, for example, trying to get their work on offense. They've given them the points on offense, Choa and Ija, for example. But on defense, though, they haven't really been that aggressive. 3 rebounds for Choa, 2 for Ija, 2 for Bruno Williams, and 1 for Jarvis Walker. That's it. 4 total rebounders for Indianapolis and 8 total. They've been out rebounded. That's one thing that has allowed William Jewell back in the game.
We saw that Jesse Bingham is leading the Greyhounds team with 8 points as kicks it out to Tynes.
Nice ball movement by Indianapolis.
That's what you like to see, especially if they want to try and go on a little run here as Bingham drives, puts up a floater, no good. Got his own rebound after a little scrum on the floor, puts it up, and is good.
Again, turnovers. William Jewell coughs it up there. No reason that should happen, and the Greyhounds take advantage of it. Bingham again, he's now in double figures.
Whichever team normally wins that turnover battle is the team that normally wins the game, as the Greyhounds defense is forcing another turnover here. As we have David Ija running down the court, gets a little bit of Euro step, puts it up, and is good.
And it hasn't really been more so the defense rather than the offense for William Jewell. I think it's just been a mixture of both. William Jewell just being a little bit sloppy here in the first half, especially in the first half. But Indianapolis as well, their hands, they've been in the pockets, and they've got their hand on the ball plenty of times.
Another turnover forced there by David Ija. As you were talking about hands in the pockets, Bingham with the long dunk there.
Wow.
That was almost a Sports Center play.
Yeah, that would have been, he was trying to go on top of the Cardinals there. I think that was Alexander who drew the blocking foul. No, I think it was, it was Wingert who stepped in front of Bingham there.
Bingham took off pretty much from that GLVC logo there in the lane. He was ready to posterize Mason Alexander. Bingham puts up his first free throw and is good.
65% from the line on the year for Bingham. That's really one of the only areas where he could probably improve upon, especially under 70%. Corsaro, I know he wants that number to go up throughout the rest of the year.
Yeah, you mentioned it. That's pretty much the only thing he can really improve on shooting-wise. 46% from the field and 41% from beyond the arc. So he's really knocking down his shots this year.
I want to see that replay of Bingham. That was, if we see that replay, check out the lift. He has such hops for Indianapolis.
Even better ball find there by Ija as he saw the cutting. Bingham to put it up for that attempted dunk. McKinley drives, puts it up, swatted away by Ija. It's another turnover for the Cardinals.
More good defense for Indianapolis.
And Ija had a little bit of a miscommunication there with Bingham. As we bring in Choa, Williams, Jarvis Walker, and Jacoby Robinson.
And we spoke about Corsaro trying to keep his guys fresh. The only Greyhound to stay on the court, Jesse Bingham. 4 new Greyhounds out there with Bingham to close out this first half.
Jesse he is one of those team leaders in minutes, so you expect him to stay on the floor as long as possible. As Walker drives the lane, puts it up. Travel is called on Walker. Let's try to get a little too fancy there, putting up that shot.
Walker had a pretty good start to the year. He's kind of regressed to the mean a little bit. One of those transfers as well from PFW up in Fort Wayne. He comes down to Indianapolis. He's giving them some life off the bench, but needs some more scoring punch if you're Corsaro.
He's a great defensive player, really locks down his defender there as we have Isaac Patterson put up a 3, and it is good.
William Jewell trying to make a name for themselves here, closing out the first half, trying to cut into this lead, give him some momentum heading into the break.
Isaac Patterson shoots 50% beyond the arc, so he is a pretty good three-point shooter. Choa drives, gets fouled, dead ball.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Eli Winger, you have nothing down there. Choa is a solid, 20, 30 pounds heavier than him just on muscle alone. So there's nothing Winger or a lot of those guys out there on the floor right now can do handling Choa on the block.
Choa is a force to be messed with down there underneath the rim. Ranks 36th all time on the Greyhounds rebounding list. Not the best free throw shooter, shoots 59% from the charity stripe, which is up from last year where he shot 49%.
Yeah. Final 60 seconds here. Can William Jewell cut into this lead? It would give them a lot of momentum into the break.
Stubbs kicks it back out to Jermaine. Jermaine drives with his left hand, puts it up. And that will be another shot clock violation forced by the Greyhounds.
More good defense. Jermaine has really been held in count this first half. Only 3 points. He's only shot the ball 3 times. That would technically have been his 4th, but it didn't even hit the rim. And technically another turnover, a shot clock violation. That due to the fact of, Jesse Bingham guarding him there. Those long arms helps him.
Jermaine averaging 15.8 points per game here this year. Was 2022 All-GLVC second team last year. So he's a great player. Has a little dish there to Choa, was Tynes. Looks like Choa is called for the foul with 28 seconds here to go in the half.
Choa usually gets in foul trouble. And now this year, a lot of pinpoint has been going on Choa's ability to defend on the painted area without fouling. He's done a much better job from last year to this, and now just his first foul. It speaks to the defensive improvement and development for the big man.
Choa's like grown up,
yeah,
per se, over the last couple of years.
Yeah, exactly.
He's gotten his free throw shooting better. He's gotten his fouls down as the game starts. He's not in 3 fouls within the first half. As we have a huge dunk attempt there by Kobe McKinley, shut down there by the mentioned Kendrick Choa.
That would have been a poster. McKinley goes up strong there. That was a fantastic block, because now for a free 2 points, Kendrick Choa does pick up his second foul, so I'm sure Paul Corsaro doesn't like that, but he makes McKinley go to the line to earn the 2 free throws.
McKinley, a 62% free throw shooter on the year. Puts it up. The first one is good. Choa is one of those people that, like you mentioned, does get in foul trouble pretty early in the game and kind of affects his status as the game goes on, but only 2 fouls here so far. So McKinley puts up his second, no good. Rebounded there by Robinson, 2 to play. Bingham puts it up, gets it off in time, off the top of the backboard, and no good. As the Greyhounds take a lead here into halftime, up 36-28. We will now Greyhounds lead at 36-28, led there by Jesse Bingham.
The bench was fired up just before the half ended as Jesse Bingham got a foul on an attempted dunk tonight. Something I keep hearing in the message that the coaches are saying to the players is stay on defense. If the Greyhounds continue to do this tonight, that could result in some great game playing tonight. This is UINDY basketball on UINDY TV and the GLVC Sports Network.
across divisions, sports, championships, and schools for nearly 500,000 student athletes. College sports create lifelong opportunity, and that starts with education. We've raised the academic bar, so more are earning degrees, creating healthier campuses by working with the nation's brightest minds, and making sure more have the chance to succeed and are supported on their journey. But beyond the numbers, it's about opportunity, and we're working to provide it for every student athlete.
To them, the whole world looks like an opportunity, one to be seized, built upon, and made better for their sport and the people around it. To student athletes, every opportunity is a chance to change what could be and show the world what opportunity can do.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby. Inside the 30, touchdown. Michaela Burgess.
An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org.
I pledge.
I pledge.
I pledge. I pledge.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
In life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it. It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby. Inside the 30, touchdown. Michaela Burgess.
An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org/opportunity.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Wow, that's so many memories, I would say. I think the things that when my teammates and I get together, what we enjoy the most, I think, are just all the stories, all the things that happen between us playing against some of the best schools. You know, we played some Division I schools. We beat Eastern Illinois twice. A thrill for a Division II school to go in and to beat a Division I school. And I think we remember, you know, feeling like kind of the David versus Goliath. And that's what I think we realized, if you can come together as a group, you know, that you can have success. Well, I think any competitive person, it's tough. But I still look at it today. You know, it's been 30 years since I played competitive basketball, and in the business world and the education world, you lose, and things happen, and you go back to your playing days, and you got knocked down, and you got to get back up. So that was kind of our mantra. I think to have dreams. I just, as a little kid, I had dreams that I wanted to do something athletically, you know, and basketball was my passion. And so I don't care what it is, do something that you like, that you're passionate about. That to me is the most important thing, and then work to achieve it. And if you work hard enough at it, I think your dreams can come true, even when people tell you it'll never happen. And that to me was kind of the David versus Goliath thing. Yeah, and it's a cliche, but I do think life is a game. Life is a competition. And I think I was prepared because I competed in college, and I say the same thing to people. You kind of those same attributes. You have to work hard, you have to practice what you want to do, and you have to believe in yourself, and you have to have those dreams, and you put that package together, and I think it's a pretty good package for success. Hi, I'm Larry Tucker. I'm a former NCAA student athlete from Lewis University.
champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor. It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
I pledge.
I pledge.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
Welcome back from halftime. 36-28, the Greyhounds are leading, shooting 56% from the field, 3 for 5 beyond the arc, as the Cardinals are shooting 48% from the field. As we see the big turnover margin here, William Jewell with 14, Indianapolis with 8. And that is pretty much the big story here tonight. The points off of turnovers are a big thing.
Well, it's also, I mean, that's one thing that I'm really surprised about is UINDY only shot 5 3-pointers in that first half. Only 5. They made 3 of them, but the last game against Truman, they shot 27 on the game. So I expect that number to go up. Expect them to jack up a few more threes, honestly, in the second half.
UINDY is a pretty 3-dominant team, as they are shooting 38% from the field, making 10 of those a game.
Yeah.
So they are pretty reliant on that. Still ahead here, even without hitting all those threes, as Mason Alexander is the leader for the Cardinals with 6 points, 2 for 3 beyond the arc, and 2 of those solid rebounds for the Cardinals. As the Cardinals start with the ball here to start the second half.
Yeah, I need the Cardinals a little bit more life out of them in the second half. Also want to see some more three-point shooting from them, but honestly, a little bit more of everything. Other than rebounding, they need to improve on their scoring-wise.
They also need to manage the turnovers. They are losing that turnover battle pretty heavily.
Absolutely.
As we see one here forced by Jacoby Robinson.
Yeah, an awesome block by Robinson.
So Williams drives the lane, puts it up with his right hand, and good.
And again, the Greyhounds all over him there. Robinson, nice defense. The defense leads to transition offense. Bruno Williams lays it in.
As the Cardinals start the half with a turnover, they cannot really afford to fall behind by much more. As we get a three thrown up there by Grant Stubbs, puts it up and is good.
That's Grant Stubbs' first three-point try of the year, and he knocks it down. So,
as Tynes puts up a three of his own and is good, matches that one from Stubbs.
And there's that three-point stroke, the improved three-point shooting from Josiah Tynes. That's his first bucket of the day.
Tynes is a 41% shooter from beyond the arc. As an errant pass there thrown by Kobe McKinley.
Yeah, I like the idea. Nice drive and kick by McKinley, but the kick out was a little bit wide. Alexander needs to slide a bit more into that corner because he has the space over there. He needs to go to the ball instead of just waiting for the ball to come to him. It was an errant pass, but Alexander could have done a little bit more there to try and take the possession.
Seems like the Cardinals can't hold on to the ball at all during this game. I mean, averaging 12 turnovers on the year as Robinson puts up a mid-range jumper, no good. They have 15 already. They have surpassed their average on the year. There's a three thrown up there by Grant Stubbs, no good, rebounded. A foul is committed instead. Looks to be against Kiri Shiosho, as the Greyhounds will have the ball.
Yeah, if William Jewell can't get something going on offense, they need to do it on the defensive end to get off and running, working the fast break.
Bingham had the ball poked away from him, grabs it back. Thrown down low to Choa. Choa with the left hand, up and good.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good try by Shioyo, but again, Choa he gets to his spot, and he's so comfortable going across the lane with the little hook shot. You've seen that time and time again throughout the season, and that's already, I think, his third little hook shot on the same spot tonight.
Alexander puts up a floater, no good. Foul is called. Bruno Williams called for a foul. You talk about how Choa is so comfortable down low. I mean, he is a right-handed shooter that is very comfortable going to his left hand to put it up, and that's something you really don't see that often with the big men.
No, absolutely. So almost ambidextrous because he's so comfortable with both hands, especially around the basket. He has such touch on the inside. That really helps him.
As Williams has the ball now.
Choa sits down at the last dead ball. Ija back in for him, and Nickerson checks in. Corsaro keeping his guys fresh from the bench.
Nickerson is a threat to shoot beyond the arc, has no points today, hasn't attempted a shot as we have an Ija three put up just out of desperation.
Yeah, just that one a little bit shy there by Williams. Not his best stroke of the night.
As another turnover there forced by Ben Nickerson.
2-on-1, got to be careful.
Jesse puts up, almost looked for a dunk there, but with his right hand and a little Euro step, as you see Kendrick Choa celebrating on the bench.
Bingham's got 14, very efficient 14. He's 6 of 10 from the field, and Bingham keeps that hot shooting alive.
Just Bingham matches his season high here today with 14 points, as a deep three is taken there by Mason Alexander.
And he has the answer, cutting the lead back down to 11 for William Jewell.
Greyhounds need to keep this defensive pressure on the Cardinals. As Ija puts up a three off the front iron, no good. Gets his own rebound and then is blocked out of bounds. Ball will stay with the Greyhounds by Grant Stubbs.
Yeah, more good defense there. Stubbs got the block that time. It'll take us to a timeout.
As we will go down to the sideline with Genesis Brown.
Thank you. Coach Casaro was breaking a sweat out there on the sideline. As the game intensifies, he is telling the Greyhounds that they need to continue to make some ball movement, and we saw that did deliver as Kendrick Choa made 2 points down in the paint. Thank you. This has been Greyhound Basketball on UINDY TV and the GLVC Network.
You got Tennessee, Georgia.
Georgia, easily, man.
Come on, Tennessee's 8.5-point dogs. Easiest spread of all time.
How?
Because they're good, and Georgia's played nobody.
At least Georgia has a defense.
Oh, come on. You're an IU fan. Your opinion doesn't matter.
My opinion doesn't matter. The only thing you know as a Purdue fan is how to lose to a 15 seed in the March Madness tournament.
We're bowl eligible, my guy. Are you? Make sure to tune in to Last Call Monday nights. We'll talk about Division I football, give you plenty of UINDY sports, some interviews in there as well, and then plenty of pro sports, whether it be NFL, MLB, the whole shebang.
Yeah, and there's at least one guy that knows what he's talking about.
Welcome back here. Greyhounds lead 45-34 as they've been kind of gone cold here from the field. 1 for 4 in their last 4 attempts.
Yeah, but what's got them this big lead here is coming out of the halftime break, coming out of the locker room. They focused a bit more on the rebounding battle. Now 6 Greyhounds have gotten a rebound. 3 of those by Ija, 3 by Robinson, 3 by Choa, a couple by Bruno Williams, and they have almost evened the battle now, just 16-15, and still in favor of the Cardinals, but the Greyhounds, much better job on the glass.
What is the really big factor here is that the Cardinals have turned the ball over 16 times, and they are really struggling on the turnover battle as a foul is committed.
And it seemed like the Greyhounds were turning the ball over, especially early there in that first half. They had 6 in the first 10 minutes, and now just 2 the next 15 minutes. Just two turnovers.
Sean Craig enters the game for the Greyhounds as Choa gets the ball down low, throws it out to Jarvis Walker for 3 and bangs. It's home.
Yeah, awesome pass there by Kendrick Choa. Recognized that he didn't have exactly the positioning he was hoping for down low, and the cross-court pass, wonderful find, and Walker knocks it down.
The defensive side has really shined here tonight for the Greyhounds as they have forced many turnovers of this Cardinal offense. A deep 3 taken there by Mason Alexander and a foul called, and that will be a 3-pointer and a free throw.
Yeah, Alexander, honestly, he's been special from the outside. I mean, now 4 of 6 from behind the arc. Chance to make it a 4-point play. That's hard to do, especially in college basketball, and Alexander showing that he has the hot hand from the outside. Honestly, if I'm Coach McCabe, I'm going to Alexander almost every position here. He's got to get a touch.
And his free throw is good. That brings it up to 13 on the night, averaging 12.5 on the season. 34% shooter from beyond the arc. As Bingham puts up a little bit of a floater, gets it to go. Jesse Bingham has surpassed his season high with 16 here tonight.
William Jewell could do everything they want on offense, but if they can't slow down Indianapolis, especially Bingham, it's going to be hard.
Eli Wingert puts it up 4-2. Oh, massive block there by Hiri Shioyo as the Cardinals have another turnover. A very errant pass there thrown by Mason Alexander.
Yeah, one of the few mistakes Alexander has made tonight. He has turned the ball over quite a few times. Now he has 5 turnovers alone here in the ball game. He does have those 13 points, but I'm not sure who he was looking for. Obviously the cutting winger, but just an errant pass.
You just can't throw the ball away like that, especially if you're trying to mount a comeback.
Exactly.
Down 10, foul called there against Hiri Shioyo as Kendrick Choa was attempting a shot.
Again, Choa gets some positioning onside. He gets to it inside. He gets to his spot. He cuts across the paint there, draws the foul.
Ball will stay with the Greyhounds as Josiah Tynes inbounds it underneath their own basket. Ball kicked out to Williams. Williams drives with his right hand, puts it up off the front iron and no good. Gets that roll all the way around there. Almost stolen again by Jarvis Walker.
Yes, that was a toilet bowl. Williams almost got that one to go, though.
Quick pass from Alexander to McKinley. Puts it up for 2.
McKinley, another one of those bright spots as the Cardinals cutting into this lead here towards as we near 10 minutes to go in the second half, and we try and get to this under 12 media timeout. William Jewell here trying to go on a bit of a run and cut down the deficit.
Greyhounds only up by 8 now. Williams is fouled there by Eli Wingert. Jesse Bingham's made 3 out of his last 4 attempts, as Jewell has gone on a run of its own, going 4 for 5 out of their last, on the floor, 3 for 4 beyond the arc. And they've held the Greyhounds scoreless for the last minute and a half.
Yeah, that foul, though, on Wingert, that's something that can't happen because there was just 5 on the shot clock. The Greyhounds were running out of time. It was nice defense by the Cardinals on that possession, and then they bail them out with a little bump as they get too aggressive 25 feet away from the basket.
Thrown down low for Choa. Choa with a nice move, puts it up with his left hand and is good.
Yeah, Choa, he is going to make or break the Greyhounds this year, especially when they get into some more GLVC play. I know this is their 3rd GLVC game, but when they get down in the stretch of the season, Bingham and Choa are going to be their bread and butter.
Choa especially, because he can play very well on the offensive side and the defensive side of the ball. As you have a drive there, might have been knocked out of his hand, so the double dribble wasn't called there by Jermaine Jordan. Greyhounds have kind of kept him in check here tonight.
They have.
Kept him at only 3 points, and he does average 15 on the year.
Right now they have, I believe, Robinson guarding him on defense, and they've really been able to hold him in check. Only 4 shots tonight for Jordan.
As Jewell has the ball again, still trying to make this comeback. Drive there by Jermaine. Finds not his teammate in David Ija as the Greyhounds try to move fast. The ball is tipped out of bounds there by Grant Stubbs. As we hit our under 12 media timeout, the Greyhounds lead 52-42. You are watching UINDY TV on the GLVC Sports Network.
Award-winning news coverage. Brought to you by ethical journalists that care about you. We have you covered on crime, latest on sports, and the best in entertainment. This is UINDY TV News.
Why haven't they been telling us?
As we come back here, the Greyhounds are up by 10.
Cardinals, though, cutting into this lead. Mason Alexander he's been coming on strong as of late. That 4-point play really got the Cardinals back in it as they've gone on a bit of a run here. The Greyhounds kind of reeling on offense.
Alexander with the team high, 13 points for the Cardinals, and he has really been the spark for them here tonight, playing 26 minutes, pretty much leading in all statistical categories. 13 points, 4 for 6 from beyond the arc, and 3 rebounds.
Yeah, he's been special. He's really been the only life on offense so far tonight for the Cardinals. They need more of him. The rest of this 11:46 left to go. They almost need an even more valiant effort from Alexander.
I want to rely everything on Alexander, as if they can try and get some life from anybody else.
Yeah. It's been tough though. Most of the Cardinals haven't shown that they have that offensive skill set that like Alexander.
Ija drives, blocked there by Ferguson.
Yeah. There's the defensive skill set. Ferguson coming over and holding his own against Ija in the paint.
Let me a turnover for the Greyhounds as Jewell gets the ball.
Just look at the turnover battle though. 18-9. William Jewell just sloppy with the ball in the first half, but even more so in the second half. They've coughed it up. Indianapolis has made them pay. 22 points off turnovers for the game. It's been the difference.
It really has. I mean, if you really think about it, that if Jewell wouldn't have turned those balls over, as we have a shot here by Grant Stubbs, I mean, UINDY wouldn't have got those fast break points, put them up, and built a 10-point lead like they have, as we have Robinson chuck up a 3, and it is good.
Robinson hasn't shot the 3 ball well that accurately, efficiently, rather, as of late. Just 30% now on the year for the sophomore, but knocks that one down.
Jacoby up to 6 points on the game. This Greyhound defense is holding pretty tightly with 10 to shoot. Deep 3 there by Alexander. Nothing going. Rebounded by Ija. Bingham with a 3 of his own, no good. Rebounded there by McKinley. Jewell really has to try and not have a Herculean effort there by Alexander. Somebody else needs to step up and be that man.
Can it be McKinley?
McKinley with the right-handed shot, no good. Rebounded there by Craig. McKinley does average 11 points on the year, so he can be one of those threats. Robinson fakes another 3. Puts it up instead. Off the back iron, no good. Rebounded by Alexander. Put up by Alexander. That left-handed fadeaway, no good. Ball on the floor, picked up by McKinley. Got back out to Alexander. Shot up by Grant Stubbs. Off the front iron, no good. And the ball will be thrown out of bounds, and it will stay with the Cardinals.
Do you remember how we talked about Indianapolis only shot 5 threes in the first half? Well, now they've shot 12 for the game, 7 already in the first 11. Well, just 10.5 minutes.
Maybe they hurt us.
I feel like they did, or honestly, Corsaro was probably like, you guys have had open shots, and I love that you guys are taking them inside, but start to take the threes.
They are a very 3-point dominant team. McKinley finds Robbie Hansen, kicked it out. Jordan Germain for 3, no good. That'll be a foul committed. That'll be David Ija. First foul of the game for Ija. Nobody's really in that much of a foul trouble yet. We have a couple of Cardinals that are close.
Still the rebounding battle in favor of William Jewell. And like we mentioned there about 5 minutes ago, Indianapolis was cutting back into that rebounding, that battle. It was within 1. It was 16-15. Now all the way back up to a 6-point margin. William Jewell 25 rebounds in the game. Indianapolis just 19.
McKinley, a 62% free throw shooter on the year. Makes his first, misses his second. Rebounded by Choa. Isaiah Tynes bringing the ball up court for the Greyhounds. Bingham with the right-handed hook shot and is good. Bingham now up to 18 points on the ball game.
So efficient, 8 of 13 from the field tonight for Bingham. 0 of 2 from the three-point line. If he hadn't tried those 2 threes, it would be an impressive 8 of 11. Also made both of his free throws on the day.
Foul is called on Bruno Williams. That'll be his 3rd on the game. Great defense here by the Greyhounds. 5 seconds to shoot from the Cardinals. See if they can get a shot off, and they do not. That is a 3rd shot clock violation forced by that Greyhound defense.
Yeah, that can't happen. Patterson just working with it and doesn't even realize that the clock is running down. He throws one up towards the rim, but it wasn't a shot. It was a pass. He didn't even realize the clock was running down. The Cardinals just have to have more awareness of what's going on the floor around them.
They are struggling with that. I mean, when you think about it, as you see that shot clock winding down, or that internal clock, as we have Williams throwing up a 3 and it is good. That internal clock really needs to go off, and you got to put something up.
Exactly. Got to be aware of the clock. There's a reason it's right above the basket and in bright red lettering, or bright red numbering rather. And still Patterson didn't realize now with the 3, everything working for Indianapolis.
And that will bring us right as we look at this Bruno Williams 3 as he makes it, and it is good as we will send it to break with our under 8 media timeout. UINDY starting to pull away 60-43. You were listening, or you were watching. We are going to send it down to Genesis Brown on the sideline.
As the coach was drawing up some plays during that last timeout, he said to the Greyhounds that you know how to play basketball, so play basketball. The ball is moving very well around the perimeter, but the Greyhounds do need to keep in mind to get back on defense and grab those rebounds. This is UINDY basketball on the UINDY TV and the GLVC Sports Network.
Hey, it's Giselle here on 88.7 WICR.
88.7 The Diamond, the only jazz and classical station in Indianapolis, completely led by the students of the University of Indianapolis. Listen to us on iHeartRadio, TuneIn app, FM radio, HD radios, or even on our website at wicronline.org, a different kind of public radio.
Coming back here from our break as the Greyhounds defense is starting to become a little bit insufferable. As we see here, Coy Miller Jr. sitting in the stands, watching his former team really start to pull away here. Almost 12,000 career points.
Yes, so impressive.
Which is insane. 31st all-time here at the University of Indianapolis.
We talked about it earlier this year because Corey Miller used to be that guy that the Greyhounds went to late in games. Now that guy has become Jesse Bingham, and Bingham has really stepped into that role, and he's kind of flourished, honestly. 18 points tonight for the redshirt sophomore.
As the Greyhounds defense is forcing another turnover as the shot clock was winding down. They had 4 seconds to shoot.
And they force, is that the 20th turnover for William Jewell? Indianapolis, that they have really forced a lot of turnovers. Their defense has just been awesome tonight.
And Jacoby Robinson bringing up the ball now for the Greyhounds. Bingham, a great ball handler. Choa down low, gets the ball stripped away. That ball will stay with the Greyhounds.
Again, Choa just gets some positioning on the inside, and he just goes to work. That was, it's been really fun to watch him. That time got it stripped away, but still UINDY ball. Choa's been really, really fun to watch.
Up to 10 points on the evening for him. He's doing really well in the foul category too. Only 2 personal fouls.
Yep.
As Ija chucks up a 3 and it is good.
Ija lights out from downtown tonight. 3 of 4 on the night for David Ija. Just shoots 24% from downtown, and he's 75% on the day.
And we will take a break along with the teams. Indianapolis 63, William Jewell 43. 7:16 remaining here in the second half. You're watching UINDY TV on GLVC Sports Network. Back here as the Greyhounds have opened up a 20-point lead against the William Jewell Cardinals. And it's really pretty much doing to that three-point shooting we alluded to during the halftime.
Exactly what I was going to mention, Drew. 8 of 14 now from behind the arc on the day. That's good for just over 57% from downtown. That's gonna boost their averages, because just 38% on the year from behind the arc. Now 57% on this game. It's been an impressive, efficient night for Indianapolis. Also from the field, 54%. They have just been making shots from all over the place.
They really have, and most of it's come down low due to Jesse Bingham and Kendrick Choa. They've been menaces on the glass.
4 double-figure scores for Indianapolis, and only 2 Greyhounds have taken double-digit shots, just Choa and Bingham with 10 and 13 shots respectively.
As William Jewell tries to mount a comeback here, down 20, turns the ball over again for the 21st time. Bingham gets down into the lane, little spin move, puts it up, no floater, no good. Foul looks to be called against Kendrick Choa. A little bit of a hook.
I think Coach McCabe has figured out that they don't really have the personnel to slow down a guy like Jesse Bingham, because they have Jordan Germain on him right now, and Germain is a solid 4.5 inches shorter than Bingham, and another, 10, 15 pounds smaller than him as well. They have Germain, the senior, on him right now, and Bingham has been able to take advantage all night long.
Greyhounds have really held Germain in check. I mean, he's not doing what he normally does for the Cardinals. It's an awkward shot thrown up there by Grant Stubbs, and is good.
Just 3 points tonight by Germain. Stubbs there trying to give the Cardinals some life, but just 6 minutes to play here. This one all but over, it seems like.
We were talking about Germain before that shot. He's on 3 points, 1 for 6 from the field, 1 for 3 beyond the arc. This only had 3 rebounds and 2 assists, so he's way below his season average as Ija drives the lane, puts it up off the glass, no good. 1 and a foul called. Jewell gets the ball stripped away there by Robinson, but Robinson's foot was on the line. Ball will stay with the Cardinals.
Right now, Indianapolis up by 18, and it hasn't been the rebounding battle. This would be the first win of the year for Indianapolis when they get out-rebounded. They are 5-0 when they out-rebound their opponent, and they are 0-1 when they get out-rebounded. Here tonight, they're right now getting out-rebounded by 6, and we'll see how many rebounds UINDY gets the rest of this game, but right now, a season low to this point, just 21 rebounds on the day for Indianapolis.
Combined block there by Robinson and Choa. Leads to another turnover for the Cardinals. As Choa has the ball down low, puts it up, and is good. Choa now up to 12 points on the night. Passing his season average.
And he's been efficient as well. 74% coming into this game from the field. Now 6 of 11 tonight.
Lob pass there thrown from Alexander down low to Wingert. Winner is at the line, puts it up, gets the roll off the front iron. (65-46) as these Greyhounds have lead in. Coach Casara will call a timeout here to get things straight as we head down the stretch. Greyhounds up 65-47. You're watching UINDY TV on the GLVC Sports Network.
We got Tennessee, Georgia.
Georgia, easily, man.
Come on, Tennessee's 8.5-point dogs. Easiest spread of all time.
How?
Because they're good, and Georgia's played nobody.
At least Georgia has a defense.
Oh, come on. You're an IU fan. Your opinion doesn't matter.
My opinion doesn't matter. The only thing you know as a Purdue fan is how to lose to a 15 seed in the March Madness tournament.
We're bowl eligible, my guy. Are you? Make sure to tune in to Last Call Monday nights. We'll talk about Division I football, give you plenty of UINDY sports, some interviews in there as well, and then plenty of pro sports, whether it be NFL, MLB, the whole shebang.
Yeah, and there's at least one guy that knows what he's talking about.
Tyne struggling to inbound the ball here, gets it into Robinson. And the Greyhounds will start their attack. Choa down low. Choa's had a great game so far, 12 points on the day. Kind of had a slip up there and gets a jump ball. Possession stays with the Greyhounds. Jesse's up to 18 points here on the game for UINDY. He's the one inbounding the ball, gets it in Tynes. Foul is called against the Cardinals. The team's 5th on the game. We have Jesse inbounding the ball once again. Gets the ball in the Tynes. 15 to shoot. Kendrick has the ball down low, almost steps out.
Looked like he did.
Foul is called though.
They say the foul comes before what would have been the Greyhounds' 10th turnover of the night.
We have 4 Greyhounds in double figures. And it's Kendrick Choa, Bruno Williams, Jesse Bingham, and David Ija. Kind of an impressive night for the Greyhounds offensively and defensively since they forced that Cardinal offense to 21 turnovers. .355 remaining here in the second half. UINDY up 65-47. And now we're going to send it down to our sideline reporter, Genesis Brown.
The Greyhounds are getting a little frantic and making some fouls as number 1, Kendrick Choa, was briefly sent on the bench due to making a foul, but Coach Casaro assured him to keep going and keep playing because you got to get your hands a little dirty to play some basketball, and that's just what he did. He did not let that discourage him, and he continued to play some great basketball. You're watching Greyhounds basketball on UINDY TV and the GLVC Sports Network.
Award-winning news coverage. Brought to you by ethical journalists that care about you. We have you covered on crime, latest on sports, and the best in entertainment. This is UINDY TV News.
65-47. The Greyhounds are starting to pull away here, but William Jewell starting to fight back just a little bit. As they've shown a little bit of fight led there by Mason Alexander.
Yeah, they're trying. They just took down McKendree. They took down the Bearcats by 22 points, but this one a different story. Indianapolis has been just the better team, honestly. They jumped out to what should have been an early lead, but William Jewell did an awesome job to hang with them there for most of that first half, but they kind of ran out of steam there, and Indianapolis didn't.
It's kind of been the story of the Greyhounds season so far. Aside from that one game at Quincy, which was a one-possession game there, late in that one. They've really just ran away with everything.
Honestly, it seems like they have, because they beat Truman by 20 earlier in the year. They had Lake Erie and Ohio Dominican, those couple blowouts as well. Nobody has really played them as tough as Quincy other than Grand Valley State. Grand Valley State, the Lakers, they played them extremely tough. The difference in that one was Jesse Bingham just made more plays down the stretch than the Lakers' best player, and that was really the difference. But the first, well, I guess technically the second big test of the season for Indianapolis was Quincy, and they fell in that one. They got out-rebounded. They got out-worked. It just seemed like the Hawks wanted that one more, and down the stretch, Indianapolis made a couple mistakes. They turned the ball over. They missed a couple layups, and it happens, you know.
That game for the Greyhounds was on the road, so they went to Quincy. Their only road loss and only loss of the season so far.
Best start for Indianapolis since 2019 under the head coaching helm of Stan Gerard, now Corsaro, his best start in his third year.
And during that year, they did end up with the #1 seed in the region for the NCAA tournament, which they were going to host games here at Nickerson Hall. And then that unfortunately got canceled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. As the Cardinals are trying to mount a comeback here, just under 3 to play, as they score a quick basket and a timeout taken there by Coach Chris McCabe. We will step aside. Greyhounds lead 67-49. You are watching UINDY TV on the GLVC Sports Network.
Hey, it's Giselle here on 88.7 WICR.
88.7 The Diamond, the only jazz and classical station in Indianapolis, completely led by the students of the University of Indianapolis. Listen to us on iHeartRadio, TuneIn app, FM radio, HD radios, or even on our website at wicronline.org, a different kind of public radio.
67-49. The Greyhounds have a pretty massive lead here with 2:56 remaining in the second half.
Indianapolis has doubled up the Cardinals with points in the paint. 36-18, absolutely dominated the painted area. A lot of that comes to the hands of Choa and Ija, but also guys like Jesse Bingham, Bruno Williams. They've gotten in the lane, and Indianapolis has really taken advantage of the smaller Cardinal team.
Yeah, you mentioned it. They are very undersized for what they have. Tallest player is 6'7", and he's currently on the bench right now as there's a shot by Williams, no good, rebounded there by McKinley. You can't really have an undersized basketball team in the GLVC, which size is a massive thing, especially for the Greyhounds, as they brought in a couple transfers with some size. I mean, Kendrick Choa, not a transfer, but 6'7". Jacoby Robinson, 6'7". David Ija, one of those transfers brought in, also 6'7". Nobody really on the Greyhound team is undersized.
Right. No, well, yeah. And like you mentioned, like 6'7" isn't a number that kind of jumps out at you, but Choa plays a lot bigger than what his height would come off with, because 240 pounds of just pure muscle. Kendrick Choa, an absolute beast down low. And Drew, we didn't even mention it, but Julian Steinfeld, 6'11", he's just not playing tonight because he's a little bit injured right now. But he's another guy who Indianapolis they dominate with their size.
And having Kendrick Choa and Julian Steinfeld in the game at the same time is very hard for an offense to try and go around. As William Jewell is trying to put up a comeback. David Ija shot a 3 there. Quick turnover there by Bruno Williams. It's just under 1:30 to play here. Sean Craig puts up a 3 and is good.
Walks into a 3. Sean Craig has been lights out from downtown, 63% coming in. That's his first try of the night, and now he's got 5. Makes that one.
Alley-oop there from Alexander to Wingert. And I don't think I've seen a game so far this year where Sean Craig has missed a 3. It seems like he's just always making them. As we will head to break, Greyhounds up 20. We will not head to break as players are rushed back onto the floor here. bunch of substitutions here for the Greyhounds. And as Josh Hines will check into the game, along with Joey Bamba, Ben Nicholson, and as Sean Craig nails another one here, get his young Greyhound career started. 1 minute to play here, left in the game. Pass thrown up there by Caleb Becker. Becker's a freshman from Albany, Kansas, had 1,300 points in high school, averaged 18 points a game.
An impressive day overall by UIndy. They weren't able to out-rebound William Jewell. This will be the first time that Indianapolis has come away with a victory, and an impressive blowout victory at that. And they got out-rebounded, so it kind of just speaks to the fact that the Greyhounds, they can beat you in so many different ways. They're going to have Rockhurst here at Nickerson Hall on Saturday, the Hawks. And, I mean, the Greyhounds, they were picked #1 in the GLVC coaches poll, preseason poll. They picked #1 for a reason. They're showing why, because they're going to start 6-1 on the year.
I think the reason they came away with a victory here today was just pure on they forced a lot of turnovers from the Cardinal team.
Yeah. 22 of them.
Shot thrown up there by Jordan. Nails his first points of the game. A little too late here, as UIndy is just way too far ahead for the Cardinals to catch up. But yeah, like we were talking, they really forced a lot of turnovers, and that's how they won. And
yep,
points off of turnovers was the pretty much outcome of the game, as the Greyhounds will come away with a victory here today as the clock winds down. 72-56 and move to 6-1 on the year.
And another an impressive victory. Greyhounds move to 6-1. Really, like we mentioned, Drew, their only cough-up against Quincy. That aside, they could be 7-0 right now. Would be an awesome start, and don't want to take away from the start to the year, because it's been the best with Coach Corsaro. About to hear from him now.
We'll now head down to Genesis Brown with Coach Paul Corsaro.
Make us good, and I think we did a pretty good job of identifying what those were and doing them today.
Okay. Tonight, I heard a lot on the bench about ball movement and the importance of moving it around. What do you think the Greyhounds did well with ball movement, and what do you think they can work on and apply to their game this Saturday?
I think when we swing the ball around, we're tough to guard, and it's just something that we got to keep focusing on.
And then last one, how will you be able to keep this morale from this game and put it into the next game?
Well, I mean, winning's fun. Hopefully they like this taste and want to keep it going. But when we wake up tomorrow, it's all about Rockers. Nothing we did today matters. We got to move on to the next game.
Thank you so much, and congratulations on your win. This has been a UIndy Sports Update on the UIndy TV.
As the Greyhounds come away victorious here today, 72-56. Jesse Bingham led the team with 18 points, and they really put them on there late for the Greyhounds.
They absolutely did. It was a hard-fought win for Indianapolis. It was a hard-fought first half, rather, because it was a rocky start for Indianapolis, but the better team ended up winning, and it was all thanks to that guy right there, Jesse Bingham, and another awesome game, and he just continues to impress.
Season high of made field goals, 8 for 14, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, came away with 18 points on the game. And they look ahead to Rockhurst here on Saturday. If they play like they did today with forcing those turnovers, they got to get a little bit better on the boards. But other than that, they really came away with a complete victory here today. For the whole UIndy TV team, Graham Shear, Genesis Brown, I am Drew Ranke, and good night.